welcome. I know the first ever podcast here for Club Chaos. Got a great guest today. I had the pleasure of working with him down in Connecticut and learning a little bit about his journey, and really excited for everybody to learn all about his journey today. So, Marvin, welcome, man. I know we really appreciate you having coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here and just to talk a little about my story.
Yeah, awesome, man. Let's start off with the first one, like we talked about here, is your journey to football. Obviously, I know not everybody knows your background story. I know a little bit about it, but I'd love to hear the start from being born and now when did you start playing football, all that stuff in between. So go right ahead.
Yeah, so I got really late into football, American football. Just like you said, I'm from Germany. I grew up over there and I just lived there my whole life. I started playing soccer like every German kid. I played handball for a lot of time till I was like 15 years old, and got into football because someone just saw me, saw my size, and he came up to me. He was like, "Yo, Marv, you got like the perfect size to play American football. You should just start playing football." And I was kind of like, "Why not?" I kind of heard a little about football. I knew, like, I didn't know anything about football. I knew, okay, you had to throw touchdowns, and that's kind of it. So I was just ready for a new journey, and that was 3 years ago. So I played 2 seasons in Germany. I actually started playing as a wide receiver because I was really skinny. I was 6'6", probably like 200 pounds, so
Oh
I was
wow.
really skinny. Yeah. And after the first season, the coaches over there, they told me that my value is at the line, so O line, D line, but I didn't want to play O line. I told them if I'm at the
Good
line,
decision.
I play, yeah, best decision I could have made. I got to play D end, so I just kind of fell in love playing D end. So I played 1 season D end over there, and kind of got into PPI recruits. The the head of the CEO of PPI, Brandon Collier, he found me, he worked me out, and he just saw my talent. That's why he brought me to the States and told me, Marv, if you really want to do this, if you want to make it to the next level, very high, if you want to make it to the league, you got to come to the States and play there. And that's what I did. He connected me to St. Thomas More, to the head coach, Coach Anderson,
Mhm.
and that's how I got into St. Thomas More.
That's awesome. So you played handball, you played soccer growing up. Any basketball, anything else like sports wise with the
Uh,
height?
it was kind of really just basketball and handball and soccer. Like my parents, kind of wanted to get me into basketball after a while, obviously because of my size.
Sure.
So I was like, nah. And right after that, American football came. So I'm glad I made the decision to start playing American football.
No, it's really cool, man. Because I know, obviously, like you said, I mean, the growth of players coming from international players, like you said, PPI, I know, NFL Academy, all those places doing a great
Yep.
job promoting the game to places that don't typically don't have as much American football. And it's huge. And I know like Brandon's a great guy, meeting him before, what he does for people in PPI and the tour and everything is awesome. I think bringing people from the countries they're in to the United States to be able to play ball, it's a great program. So definitely that's really cool. I'm really happy to hear that. Like you said, you made the decision to say, hey, football is for me. Some random person picked you out and said, hey, you got the size, go for it. And a
Yep.
great call moving from receiver to D line. D line's where it's at, right? So for you, first time you put a helmet on when you're in Germany, like we said, we were playing a receiver at that time, trying to feeling things out. Did you like it right away? Was it something that was like I kind of got into this, or was like kind of like a little hesitation, like maybe, maybe not? What was it the first time you put that helmet on? Like,
There was definitely a hesitation because like I played handball for like 10 years, so I can't just start a new sport and like love it right away. It took some
mm,
time. Like I hoped I would love it, and I'm glad I finally started falling in love with American football because it definitely took a while. It's such a different sport, so you can't just like it wasn't like I played my first snap and I was in love with it. Like I really needed some time. It took a couple years, and now especially when I made the move to come over here to the States, I fell in love because like it's such a different sport. I feel like playing over there in Germany and really being in the hot spot over here in the States. So it definitely took a while falling in love with playing football.
I mean, that's like, and I said we get kids, similar. I mean, even kids that are from the United States that are coming to football later. Sometimes it's basketball, sometimes it's a sport crossover, right, where they're coming over, and sometimes it takes a little bit to find that right position,
Yep.
find that right match. And like you said, the skill sets you have. I mean, obviously working out, we'll talk a little more about you as a player, I know, but the natural skill set you have, those skills you probably got from some of soccer and some of handball, and that twitch that, that you have is not a very common skill set for a person that's your size. That's something that so many teams wanted you for, right? Definitely some of those skills probably transferring over from football, from your previous sports, as well. So, first favorite NFL team or NFL player? When your first experiences, who'd you like when you were young, or when the first time you liked the NFL?
Since I, for me, it was like probably because might have been George Kittle because
Hmm.
they me playing. I said I started playing receiver, right? But like
Yep.
they wanted me to play a tight end, but we just didn't play with tight ends. So I was kind of like, what kind of tight ends are there? So I was just looking on the internet, good tight ends back then, and I just saw George Kittle highlights,
Yep.
and I just started loving them. And my favorite team, probably the Ravens. I'm like, it's still my favorite team,
Okay.
and so I just hope they're able to win a ring soon.
Yeah. Arg, that defense. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they got a great group. That's a great nucleus down there, man. No, it's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, it's always an interesting question because some guys, like you said, it's the Tom Brady's or it's the big names or it's not. Sometimes you said just search it online, look for good tight ends, fell in love with the clips, and went from there. Right
I
now,
feel like it's always like a position thing. You gotta fall in love with someone that plays the position.
yeah. Yeah. And then so like let's talk about now your current position, right? So
Yeah.
defensive line wise, who do you like to watch? Who do you like to model your game after, some people would say? Or who do you like to watch their film or Instagram highlights, the short clips, the Twitter, the X, not Twitter anymore, X. When you watch the clips, do you have a favorite defensive lineman you like to watch currently?
Obviously, Myles Garrett. Everybody loves to watch Myles
Sure.
Garrett, but I watch a lot of Vince Stewart, the
Yep.
edge from South Carolina,
Yep.
because he's also really tall, like 6'6", 245, 250, and he's just like a freak of nature, like the craziest athlete in college football right now.
Yeah.
So just seeing how twitchy he plays, and what kind of motor he got, I hope I can copy a couple things of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, two good comparisons. Like you said, finding those people like Myles Garrett, obviously, right now, probably the top of the top defensive line world for sure. And it'd be really scary if Aaron Donald decides to get out of retirement. The two of those guys got together for a couple of years, man. Let's keep moving through. We got a couple more here for you. So, is like when you first came over the United States, how many times have you been to the United States prior? Was it, for before coming over to St. Thomas More? Did you go over just for camps? Have you been over, talk about your experience getting to St. Thomas more, but also like for being from Germany. So, have you traveled a lot before the United States, or was this like one of the first major times when you went over to St. Thomas more?
I've been there a couple of times. I got family actually in Jersey, so I
Okay,
like my brother. We've been there. I got family in Virginia, so I've met them in Virginia,
gotcha.
and twice with Pete Pryor. So once with Brandon alone, he took me on a couple of visits
Yep.
during the season. Like we went to South Carolina, Bama, Florida, FSU, and just like I said, once for the camps, where I got my like first major office. It was now a year ago. It was last year, last
Last
summer.
year, right? I was looking at all the timeline stuff on 24/7 the other day. Man, just going through all the names, it's trying to, it's tough to keep up with. So, but no,
Or,
it's awesome. Gotcha. So, never been to Connecticut till you went to St. Thomas More, though, I assume. So describe going to St. Thomas More. I know Coach Anderson really well. Obviously, I know that's why I was pumped. We were able to link up and work out together a little bit. Coach Anderson's past, and he was at actually Capital Prep Harbor School down in Bridgeport for a little bit, and he's been around that Northeast area for a while. Describe when you went to St. Thomas More for the first time. For just getting on campus, meeting the guys, all that stuff.
I was actually the last one to arrive on campus. Like I flew over to New York and I had to drive all the way from New York, Connecticut. So it was really late, but I was really excited because it was just a whole New Jersey. Like now it's like I knew if I do good right now, it's about to change my life. So I was just really excited meeting all those guys, seeing how good American athletes are. I wasn't obviously a little nervous, but I was also really confident in myself. I knew if I just do what I'm supposed to do, I'm gonna catch up real quick, and that's what I did. So I was really confident, a little nervous, but really happy that I could take my next step. Good coming to the States, dominating over here.
Yeah, I mean, it's watching your film from the season, man. And obviously, before this last move, we'll talk about the recruiting piece here at the end. Is you had a dominant season at St. Thomas More. Obviously, the invite to going to the All American game, dominant performance in the All American game. And how big were you? What was your weight current when you got to St. Thomas More? How much did you weigh when you got on campus down there?
I think it was 245, so I was way lighter than I'm right now.
And how much are you what are you weighing now, Marv?
I'm 265 right now.
Yeah,
And
that's
my peak, like probably like January was like I probably was like 275 for a little while.
okay.
And then yeah, for the All American I was like a 270 at the All American.
Yep.
So yeah, I gained so much muscle. I got so much stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's up. That's amazing. Like I said, dominant year for those guys. You know, had a great year down in St. Thomas More. And then I'm getting to talk more about your recruiting stuff here is tons of schools. I know you went on tons of visits. I know some of the other coaches that you didn't go to their schools, I'm pretty good friends with too. So I know talking to them, I mean, you know, what we saw when I saw you in person, saw you on film, the size, the twitch, the first step, and the bend. Like you said, I mean, I know obviously 30 plus offers. You had tons of places you could have went for choices. What made Ole Miss feel like this is my future? This is my spot. What made Ole Miss that choice for you?
Like after having like if you got so many offers, you should definitely go to a school. Like it shouldn't be about money. It should be about relationship. Like how good is the relationship with the school? And obviously I want to make it to the league, so I gotta go to a school where I'm 100% confident in that they can bring me to the next
Absolutely.
level. And Ole Miss been recruiting me very hard, very early. So like I remember they offered me like a week after I came to St. Thomas More. So they saw my potential so early, even before me playing a single snap over here. And I just proved them right by dominating over there in the season, by dominating at the All American. They just kept showing me love. We had Zoom meetings and everything. I saw them in person, and I really believe in Coach Joyner, the D-line coach, a really great coach. I know that as long as I just do what I'm supposed to do, I'm gonna do really good over there. I believe in Coach Golding and just the relationship with the whole staff over there. When I went there for my official visit, my family, they loved it over there. They felt like it's a great place for me. And I just know it's the right spot. I just had the feeling. I took so many visits, but it wasn't the same feeling as just going to Ole Miss.
That's awesome. I mean, like you said, Coach Golding, what he was able to do, obviously, especially in the college football playoff alone, right? Well, obviously, with the coaching change and all that stuff and being able to move the team forward and play the way they did. Coach Joyner is an amazing D line coach. I've seen him speak on the Zoom session stuff during the pandemic and very good presenter. I know he's really great defensive line coach. That defensive staff, and obviously, Coach Golding, a more defensive minded guy in general, knows the value of defensive linemen. So he's definitely a defensive coach, a minded head coach, which is awesome to see. And like you said, that's awesome. I mean, you know, how about Mississippi? Was that your first time besides visits for football related stuff? You'd never been to Mississippi before, have you? Before football related about visits and all that stuff?
No, I had a visit. I was at Michigan State once, but like besides that, it was my first time really
Nice.
being there. Like they showed me around. They showed me many good places. So, well, yeah, it was real, like my actual first time being there.
That's odd. Yeah. Starkville. I mean, you know, looking online and seeing the game day atmospheres, man, that's going to be a really cool place to play. That's going to be a fun spot. Talking about the SEC stuff before we got on the cam. I mean, obviously, you know, the biggest and baddest conference in college football. And like you said, a great place where you can learn, develop, grow, and take those next steps because you want to keep moving forward with your journey, which is great. So, awesome, man. I wish you the best. Hope everything is going great in Germany, of course. And I'm excited. I saw you in person and DM and Doc text all the time, obviously, about keep working away. I know the work never stops and you're going to be getting those next spots, man. So great stuff, Marvin. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Coach.